Mesut Ozil revealed his early retirement from the Germany national team over racism and disrespect, and the storm it's kicked off has dominated football headlines since. In Goal's first episode of Unfiltered, let's break down the facts from the fiction in the Ozil story. First, let's look at how Ozil retired from the national team. In a three-part publicity stunt that was genius, he announced his retirement over Twitter. It started with Ozil's defence of posing with Turkey President Tayyip Erdogan ahead of the World Cup. Erdogan is loathed in much of Europe for Turkey's woeful record at human rights abuses and his loathing of the free press. Ozil said, "The picture we took had no political intentions." Mesut, mate, Erdogan's in the middle of an election campaign. Of course he's going to have political intentions. Ozil's clearly surrounded himself with yes men if he can't see why people would question the motives of such a photo op. What's out of order though is the ethnic and religious abuse that Ozil has faced. Ozil said, "Newspapers tried to turn the nation of Germany against me." And among some people, they succeeded. Nobody was more heavily criticised for Germany's disastrous World Cup 2018 campaign than the Arsenal star. Which is ridiculous. Jerome Boateng was horrific against Sweden. Manuel Neuer was embarrassing. Thomas Müller was awful. And Timo Werner was supposed to be one of the Golden Boot candidates, but finished in front of goal like a 4-year-old. Khedira, Kimmich, Hector, Hummels, Draxler, all of these players were poor at the World Cup, but none of them faced the same backlash as Ozil. Ozil said, "They didn't criticise my performances, they didn't criticise the team's performances, they just criticised my Turkish ancestry and respect for my upbringing." In recent weeks, a German politician called Bernd Holzhauer called Ozil a goat while Munich theatre chief Werner Stier said he should off back to Anatolia, an old term for Turkey. Ozil was born in Germany, not Turkey. In the final part of his statement, he said, "I'm a German when we win and an immigrant when we lose," which is painfully true. There was one person in particular who Ozil singled out in his retirement statement, DFB President Reinhard Grindel. The DFB are like the German FA and they run the national team. Ozil said, "I will no longer stand for being a scapegoat for Grindel's incompetence and inability to do his job properly." Bayern Munich CEO Karl-Heinz Rummenigge recently called the DFB a bunch of amateurs after the World Cup was finished. Bizarrely though, Bayern President Uli Hoeneß didn't get the DFB bashing memo. Instead, he came out with an extraordinary set of quotes after Ozil's retirement. Hoeneß said, "I'm glad that this scare is now over. He'd been playing for years. He last won a tackle before the 2014 World Cup, and now he and his performance hide beyond this picture. From a sporting point of view, Ozil had no place in the national team for years." Now you can tell that Hoeneß has been bottling up this rant for a while. But like Ozil's publicity stunt with Erdogan, there really is an issue with timing here. Instead of sounding reasoned and reasonable, Hoeneß comes across as a ranting, racist lunatic. I'm sure that's not what he or Bayern Munich would have wanted. Goal's Arsenal correspondent Chris Wheatley spoke exclusively to Ozil's agent, Erkut Sergut, who eviscerated Hoeneß. Here are my favourite bits of a stunning statement. He claims that Mesut has been a ghost for years. But what ghost wins all these awards and has this much success? It's laughable that he thinks he is qualified to judge footballing abilities with fabricated statistics. These lies are cheap, stereotypical and baseless comments without any foundations that allow hurtful news to spread. This is my favourite bit. Mr. Hoeneß, not only are you a disgrace to yourself, but also, and more importantly, a shame to Bayern Munich and the people of Germany. Wow, he dropped the bomb there. There's a link in the comment section if you want to read the full rant, which I'd highly recommend, but make sure you take a tub of popcorn because it is immensely entertaining. Since then, surprise, surprise, Erdogan has expressed his support for Ozil. The Turkey president said, "I talked to Mesut on Monday night. His attitude is nationalistic and homegrown. I kiss his eyes. They can't stand our picture together." That sound you hear, that's Erdogan cackling as he tosses a grenade into the conversation about Ozil's retirement. Ozil's statements triggered a huge political debate in Germany over multiculturalism, and his retirement will cast a long shadow over the German national team in the coming months and maybe even years. For me, Ozil is a remarkably talented footballer who's taken way more abuse than he deserves in the last few months. Criticism of him is too quickly dismissed by his raters, but on the other hand, Those who hate him are very quick to jump on the bandwagon as soon as he puts in a slightly under par performance. There's no doubting though that the 29-year-old needs an excellent season for Arsenal to rejuvenate his career. It's been a 12 months for Ozil. There's no denying that. But he's got a new manager at Arsenal in Unai Emery and recently signed a new deal at the club which will keep him there for the foreseeable future. We want to know what you think of Ozil's retirement. Did he make the right decision? Was he poorly treated by the German national team? And how will he play this season for Arsenal? Let us know in the comment section below. Let us know! Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get all the latest Ozil videos and much more direct from goal.